Slowly push the right stick around. Left.
Oh.
Other way. No, no, no.
Wait, I don't see
What? No, no, no.
Look.
No, 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 no. Other way. Forward. No, no, no. No, no, no. You turn around. No, 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 no. I want to I wish I could just do this professionally.
Play with drones?
Yeah. I wish there was some sort of practical use for that.
You gotta get a
just
job
to get
at
good
Toys
at
R
it.
Us.
I guess. I don't know. But I wish there was it's like Top Gun or something.
I think that is going to be a major skill, dude. It's going to have to be.
Well, I think in the future, those drones are just going to control themselves through, AI or something. But
yeah, that's when they'll be delivering packages.
yeah. But I feel like this is a good hobby to have once you get like older. Like RC guy.
Yeah.
Just getting into remote control stuff in general.
Yeah.
That is like a full world that you can get into, and you're not like a creepy old guy, because it's like the appropriate age.
Yeah, I mean, that's like when you're like 55 and you go fly a kite. It's always like, it's just always something weird about that to me. But they're really just enjoying it, but just from the
But they're
outside.
enjoying it like on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like maybe if there's a kid around and like a little kid sees you and he gets all excited.
Yeah.
And you get to show off your new kite.
It's like you're an entertainer. These guys I was down in Myrtle Beach, dude. Kite flying is a huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's like, hey, that's my area. And the dude was so mad. He had one kite he mounted to the ground after it got going, and it just stayed up there on its own. And people are taking pictures. Then he had one kite with 30 kites on it. And he's like doing this. He had his wife flagging people, dude. It was a huge. I'm like, is there a contest? And they're like, no, he comes down here every day. He's retired.
No, this is what I do.
Yeah, he's like, it's up. It's up. And dude, it was up for like 1 second. All this work he put into it.
And that guy has a whole YouTube channel, I'm sure.
30 kites.
Yeah. Well, they get like the super like high-end kites. It's not like a little kid kite. It's like a kite that you got to have two arms going and
yeah,
thrust or something.
It's one of those ones that whether you like the guy or not, you're going to lay down and look up at it. And it's beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
And it's not like you got to it's one of those skills too where you get more into it and you start learning all the different kinds of kites. And then you start importing kites from Japan or something.
Yeah. You get the homemade kite.
And then you run into another kite guy and you and him both get to talk shop.
Yeah, his hair's a little longer than it should be.
But you got a Yamamoto?
Yeah, that is how it goes. Yeah, I switched the strings up. The wind's going to the left today.
Yeah, not so bad.
Neither of them have a woman in their life.
But they got their kites.
Or, when they got that woman, that's how you know a girl really loves you, if she's going to waste a Saturday and flag people down while you fly your kite.
Yeah, where you fly your Yamamoto kites.
That's the secret to good marriage right there.
Well, it's the secret to life. The reason why people end up getting in these bad marriages and it makes marriage so stressful for people is that some people don't have hobbies.
Yeah.
They just don't know what to do with their energy.
Right.
So all they can do is watch TV or watch movies or something, and you can only do that for so long.
Yeah.
Eventually, you really do you got to have something you're putting your energy into.
Yeah.
Even if it's something as dumb as flying kites or like remote control cars.
Building those boats in a bottle.
Yeah.
That's something really cool.
Doing something that takes time. That you got to really focus on.
I know I just seen this TikTok. They asked this guy who was they didn't want to say who he was, but he was a huge actor that passed away. And they asked him, he always acted like he was in over 100 movies. And his last words were such a waste of time. I wonder.
So much wasted time.
Yeah,
I've heard that before too. Yeah.
I wonder if we're doing that in comedy. We should go build we should spend some time to fly a kite or something.
That's why I'm flying drones now.
Yeah, you're right. You
got
do
dedication.
Do some stuff.
You got to really the thing about you felt it for a second there when you're flying the drone like that. You got to focus.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that and watching TV and TikTok and
thinking
texting.
About your neighbor that you hate.
You got to be like, no, this is all I'm doing right now is keeping this fucking thing alive.
Yeah.
And it's got to be right in front of my face.
I'll talk shit about Dave Jim next time, but right now.
Well, it's right now I got drones to fly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same reason why I like playing instruments and stuff. Is that especially when you're playing guitar and you're not good at guitar, you got to focus on every single. You're so focused.
Yeah.
Because the second you look away to
the string
check
goes
your coffee. Yeah, you fuck it up. So it's you have to. It's I'm sure boxing.
Yeah.
That's why guys get into boxing or wrestling or something. It's this is everything in the world has to go away for a second, or else I'm gonna get punched in the nose.
When I was boxing, I significantly talked about people a lot less. I was a lot less negative.
Well, you're more focused.
Yeah.
You don't got enough brain space to dedicate to all this stuff.
Yeah, you can't be like your neighbor Junior. You
Well,
know?
so many people these days, all they do is look at TikTok.
Yeah.
All
I'm
their
one of 'em.
entire hobby, that's all their hobby is just like scrolling and watching, having shit pop in their face.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, all that energy goes somewhere. So eventually you start, beating your kids or something.
The thing about TikTok with me is the algo will change so much when it's going through. It'll start off comedy. It'll be fights like within 3 hours or 2 hours of scrolling. But it always starts going. I know when to get off. It starts going to the hair transplant people. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to see this. People showing, here's my progress.
Well, once the guy, he's talking in Turkish or something.
Yeah.
It's translated. Yeah.
Then they show the trip where it's like first class flight.
Yeah.
It's always the same story. It's always the same thing. After the first 3 weeks, it fell out. I was getting nervous. Guys, here's me 8 weeks. Guys, 6 months, and it's starting to come in.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a girl in the video now.
I can tell when I've been on TikTok too long once it starts getting religious.
Yeah.
Once people start converting to Islam.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, I've seen too much.
Yeah.
I don't need this in my mind right now.
You go back. I go back. I was following some guys that got hair transplants. I was becoming fans of them. And you go back after about 6 months when their shit's full.
Yeah.
And now they delete all the videos. That's like they don't even remember that bald guy anymore.
Oh, wow.
They're new. They got a girlfriend. They start working out, dude.
Yeah.
And then boom, business strategy. It's always working
Drop
like
shipping.
that. Yep.
Yeah. Eventually you open your drop shipping business. Get some passive income.
And you know who they are because every now and then they'll just turn their head slightly and check out their hairline.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is, though, like, I feel like those guys, I mean, you do that when you're like, what, 54, 55?
Well, a lot of these guys are in their 20s doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Getting hair transplants?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because in my mind, it's always a guy who's trying to, like, make up for lost time.
Oh, yeah,
One
you
of those
get
guys
the Ferrari.
who's been getting, kind of like even after midlife crisis. He's just one of those guys that's like, all right, I'm 55, but I got to relive my 20s.
Yeah.
And then they're just, running all over the place.
There's one of those guys in West Village, man. He's like, dude, he's so going through a midlife crisis. He's like 55. Dude, this cat's always telling me every time I run into him, he's telling me how he like shaves all the hair off his body. He's just eyebrows, dude. And he's like, I'm telling you, man, I feel 20. And he's like trying to convince me.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't think women are into shaved. I don't know what
It's like the Jeff Bezos kind
at
of
what
look.
point, if you're not a swimmer, at what point are you shaving all your hair off?
Yeah,
Showing
well, I think the
people.
problem is that once you do it once, you can't stop. It's like you can't have like a little bit of hair.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be there or not.
You ever see a bald man's leg, like bald? It's
What do
a
you
real
mean?
unique sight. Like there's nothing there at all. It's just shiny bald with
Okay,
the
yeah.
veins.
Yeah. It's like I mean, you would think it's a woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, shaved down.
Ah, weird.
This dude, he's wearing like young people's stuff. He's got stuff from Supreme. I actually kicked it with him one time, man. He just showed me his apartment, and yeah, dude, this dude's just got a nice apartment, got money. I don't know what he does, but I know him on a personal level. I want to trust this dude bagging my groceries. Like,
Right.
This guy is like, something's definitely wrong with this dude.
Yeah.
He's out. Greenwich Village with his money, buying girls. I seen him one time. He bought like 9 girls shots. The bill was like $110. Just in a second, gone.
Well, I mean, if there was ever going to be a city where you could pull off that kind of lifestyle, it's here.
Right.
Yeah, most cities you would run out of girls, but it's like no, a big city like this, you could always be a guy who's throwing it around like that.
Well, like T.K. Kirkland says, the very wise words of T.K. Kirkland.
Who raised you?
Yep, dude. He goes, there's another group of girls graduating next year.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss, man. I want to watch T.K. somewhere, man.
Yeah.
I got to
I'm
open
talking about
for him.
talk about a guy who's in shape.
Dude, his audience is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to
Probably
open
the
for
most
him.
jacked comedian.
In real life, if you've seen him, dude, his arm's the size of a recliner
It's
chair.
like, yeah, Lou Ferrigno back in the day.
It's like, dude, it's like you can't even I didn't realize he was that big in real life.
Yeah. And he's got like that. He's big and he's got the high voice.
And he's older.
Yeah.
People don't realize. I think he's like 63 years old.
Yeah. Black don't crack. Who raised you?
Yeah, who raised you? Women like snacks.
That's the thing though about that like that eccentric old guy in New York City. It's like at least that guy, he can go outside and he's in a city where he can still run around and drink and
Yeah.
be crazy. But it's like, imagine that same guy having that same kind of midlife crisis, but he's living in Nebraska or something.
Yeah, dude.
You got nothing to do.
His whole thing is go to Capello, that late night bar.
Yeah.
He'll bring like 4 girls there. These girls look like they're 19. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Wow.
Dude looks so much older than him. And he'll just be sitting there. We're just eating, It's like, bro, you look so guilty, bro.
Yeah, but he's having a good time.
Yeah.
That guy's happy at least.
Yeah, every single day is on McDougal.
Yeah.
And he's happy. He knows all the homeless people. He was telling me, like, one guy, he's like, yeah, I used to smoke crack with that guy. I'm just like, wow, the plot thickens.
He's a man about town.
Yeah, some of these people that make money and could balance a crack habit, it's impressive.
Right. Well, I guess once you got enough, I mean, it kind of keeps you going. It's a motivating thing. Yeah. You got to keep the crack coming in.
Yeah. I mean, it's that or smack. It's one of the two.
What's the difference?
I think smack's heroin.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, crack is definitely preferable. You want that one.
Especially if you're scrubbing carpets or something.
Yeah.
You got a landscaping job.
Yeah.
Some of the best workers I worked with were crackheads. I mean, for 3 hours, dude.
Free base.
Until they leave, they're good workers.
Yeah.
But then you notice your tools are gone, the drill, the vacuum.
Right.
I mean, a crackhead will sneak a vacuum under his shirt, dude. He'll just take it. It's
a drug that makes you work harder.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like a downer. Where
Rake
like
some
you're
leaves.
like falling asleep, nodding off or something.
Yeah, I was talking to one dude. He came to our show last night, and he was telling me that he has to lie to all these different doctors now to get Adderall, and he's traveling to do it.
Oh, wow.
He's like, man, you pay that little copay out of pocket.
To get Adderall.
Yeah,
Wow.
I guess there's a shortage.
Yeah.
But he was telling me, he goes, you got to pay for a medical. You got to go out of pocket. You got to go like you don't have medical. And that's the real way.
Oh, wow.
And then he's like, it'll cost you. You might drop like $570, but you're going to get that script.
Wow.
Them addies are a lot. I was with a comic one time. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm getting clean, dude. I'm done. I've been clean 2 days. And we go to Jimmy's Corner, real ratchet bar in Times Square. I'm like, bro, if you're trying to go clean, this is not the place.
Huh.
Like, he was still trying to drink. Dude, we sit down. We're at the bar for 2 minutes. And he goes, hey, you know where I can get any addies? The bartender's like, yeah, I got them. $3 a pill. He's like, I'll buy them all. She's like, no, I have a lot. He's like, no, I'll buy them all. She's like, no, I have like 150. He's like, let's do the math. Dude bought them all right there, like
Wow.
$400.
How much? Adderall, you just take one?
I think they prescribe you. It depends. It goes by
But I mean, like
grams.
some of the strong ones, you just pop one. It's not like
I think there's like a 30.
yeah.
Maybe. One of my friends was always telling me, oh, they're the 30s. His eyes would get real big.
As
Got
a
the
30 as
30s.
opposed to like a 10 or something.
I think maybe 30, 10, 50.
Oh, wow.
I don't really know how it works, to be honest with you. I know people that pop them lose a ton of weight very fast.
Yeah. Well, it's like speed at that point.
Their room's clean, the walls, there's no cobwebs in the corners.
Yeah, they're thinking of shit,
They'll be saying 2-3 words at one time.
doing equations.
There's that one girl, dude, when I produced my show.
Yeah.
At the pair, I can't even understand what she's saying. She's talking so fast.
Wow.
She's like, go down to the back. It's okay. I'll deal with it. It's all right. I'll be like, what? Hold on. Wait, what did you say? You can't get it.
You ever done it?
Yeah, I talked to a doctor about it, is why they gave
It's
it to
like
me.
ADD stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like actually fit for me.
Yeah.
It's because I can't focus. So I tried it. I talked to my doctor once. I told him, I said, learning disabled, attention deficit disorder. And I told him, I was like, I can't. So he gave me it was the lowest amount, which was crazy. I don't know how people do more than this. Maybe you get used to it after a while. But I had an allergic reaction, so I couldn't do them. My face got all blotchy.
Oh, yeah.
People say that's common.
Did
'cause
you
it
get the
dehydrates
actual
you.
up, though? You got.
Yeah, dude, I would eat a half of one. I didn't even want to take. I hate pills, so I didn't even want to take what he prescribed me was a whole pill, dude. I used to break it in half. I'd go to work. I would not want to eat. You just don't want to eat.
Wow. But you're actually like
Physically can't
you're
eat.
focused and you're up and
Yeah, but you're
cleaning
not
cars.
focused. Like, you're not gonna write a memoir or something.
oh yeah.
You would clean up your whole room, mint, wrap up the extension cords. You're going to do all that. You're going to talk a lot.
Wow. It's good for podcasting, I guess.
You'll go 14 hours. I think it would be too one-sided of a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
But you're going to be like, yeah, so, my brother, and he did this. And people, after a while, people are going to be like, yo, man, chill the fuck out.
Right.
But I only did it for a week, and my face was getting so blotchy, and I really couldn't eat or go to bed at night.
Huh.
My heart was racing. I was doing half the amount.
It did take care of your ADD, though, right?
Well, my ADD comes with learning. Like I'm.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not cleaning cars.
Yeah, dude, that's the best job for somebody that's ADD is cleaning cars.
Yeah. Because you can look at it and you can,
Yeah, you just.
you can see your progress.
Yeah, you'll forget what you did. You'll go back and check it 4 times. You know that under the seat's clean.
Yeah.
But, one week I was done. I lost like 12 pounds in a week.
Wow.
I did not stop working. Went to my friend's house, cleaned it up. She's like, what are you doing?
Man.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
It sucks that, I mean, I don't really know what the side effects are in terms of, like, I guess you can overdose on it.
Yeah.
I've never tried it. But
I didn't know that.
If there was ever a drug that I'd want to try, that's the one. I've never done like hard drugs or anything, but like that sounds like that's my kind of speed.
You might be laser focused. Like, I don't know if you could sit down and write on it, though.
I don't know. I'd be playing the bass guitar. And
yeah,
trying to play
probably.
the other guitar with my feet or something.
Isn't that more of a heroin drug, though?
No, I don't know. I feel like I think from what I've heard with Adderall, it's just like if you're really like focused on something, if you're into it, then it's like you could just lock in for a long time.
Yeah, people
really
always
explore.
They describe it as a coke buzz that lasts 10 hours.
Yeah, but without like the crashing at the end where you're like, because I've never done cocaine either, but they always say it that the next day is pretty brutal.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, man. That is insane.
If there were ever, I wish like, you got to wonder anytime there's a drug like this though, they got to be working on a better version of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because if there was ever a drug that the government would want you to do, it's Adderall.
Work more.
Yeah, they want you to work more. Imagine your job could just give you this stuff that would make you work harder and be more focused.
Is it ever going to come to a time when it's just all Amazon factories? Because, like, we know it. Grocery stores, that's coming to an end. There's going to be nobody at the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's going to be like North Korea before you know it. Just the food, that's it. You walk in, you walk out. That's already going to happen.
Well, it's all just going to be delivery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no need to go into the store anymore for most
Wow.
people. A lot of people already just get the stuff delivered.
You're right.
Yeah, Amazon
Another
already has
Amazon
Whole Foods.
factory.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what jobs are going to be left? And they said truck drivers, which I don't know how. I know people getting their CDLs now.
Truck driving is still going to be a major thing.
Because you have to go, somebody got to have the paperwork and yell at somebody.
Well, there's going to be self-driving cars. There already are self-driving trucks.
But you'll need a human in it.
No, you can still. It's just like it's just like a drone. They can have.
But who's going to yell at the guy at the loading dock?
That's the thing. Is
yeah.
you still like. There's still logistically. There's going to be things are going to get jammed up.
You got to pick the paperwork.
Well, you got to get from New York to Michigan. It's
right.
like the machine's going to fuck up at some part. So it's like.
There'll just be a guy sitting in the truck. I bet he won't have to drive.
Yeah, well, it's going to be like the way pilots are in big major airlines, where it's like they're there in case something goes wrong.
Right.
But for the most part, you can take off and land an airplane on its own, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, just think, like, would you actually want to trust this to a human being?
Yeah, I have a friend that's a pilot, and he tells me, he goes, yeah, it's like anything else. It's a numbers game. It's like something you never want to hear.
Yeah.
But he's like, some of the landings are a little rough. You just stay in the cockpit when people are exiting the plane and try to do better the next time.
Yeah, well, it's like if somebody gives you shit, it's like, what? Let's see you fly this plane.
Yeah. Yeah, just land.
You think this shit's easy? Yeah.
With all your bullshit in your bags, your little steamers, all your little air pads, all that shit's fine.
Well, I think there's always going to be room for a truck driver, and there's always going to be cops. Even when there's Amazon takes over everything, you're still going to they're still going to need like some dumb guy to push people around.
There's always going to be cops, yeah. Everybody's just going to be cops.
If anything, there's going to be more cops.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to, somebody's going to have to get the cattle prods and keep people in line.
So there's going to be cops. That'll be a job.
Yeah.
Maybe like casino dealers.
Yep. Somebody's always going to have to wash these cars, too.
Yeah, like a full-on detail, that's always going to be a thing. I remember my teacher telling me, she goes, don't you think, she said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to detail cars and paint cars and fix old, cars. She's like, don't you think computers are going to take over that job? And dude, I remember it like it was yesterday. I said, there's a better chance of a computer taking your job than cleaning a car, miss. And
Right.
I was right. She was so mad at me. She's like, "What? How's a computer going to teach?" I'm like, well, they do now. We use computers to learn.
Right.
I was like, do you think a computer's going to be able to scrub throw up out of a... The joke's on you, Miss Flack. I'm going to be scrubbing the throw up. There's no computer doing that. The throw up in the door panels. Come on.
I mean, both of these jobs are going to get taken, but
need the right
teacher
amount
is
of
going to
pressure.
the teacher is going to go first.
Yeah, teacher first.
Yeah.
But dude, a computer's not cleaning wheel tubs like me or my old man. I'll tell you that.
I don't know, dude.
Nah, my dad
You
makes
say
some
that
wheel
now.
tubs look great.
Yeah.
I remember I used to look. He would lay a car out, dude. You got to push with your fingers.
Yeah.
You need the right amount of pressure.
Yeah.
My dad would bust out a car so fast I'd be confused. I don't know how he moved so fast and worked so hard.
Well.
You
Well, I
know.
feel like those old cars. I mean, I feel like in the future, cars are going to look shittier and shittier too over time.
Real easy.
Eventually, everything's going to look all plasticky and Chinese. Like
You're
the real
right.
nice looking cars. Like even just think about how cars changed from the 70s to the 80s. Just thinking about like what designs happened in the 80s on like a Toyota Corolla
Yeah.
as opposed to like a Camaro or something. You could already see the pride started to slip
Yeah.
throughout the 80s into the 90s. And then like we were saying, the Honda Civic 99, that's when it kind of peaked. But just think about what cars have looked like from 20 years ago, 30 years ago to now. It's been a steady decline into like everything looks kind of generic and shitty.
I really think what we're coming to is cars are going to look like spaceships to where there's nothing in there at all. You just plug your phone in. That's everything. You control the heat with your phone.
Yeah. But there's no need, at that point, there's no need to make the car look nice.
Or one computer screen. Yeah, it's going to be flat
But
plastic.
even on the outside, though, it's
Real
just like, it's just
basic.
a pod.
Right.
Yeah, it's just going to be like a little ball you jump into.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to that. I'm going to hate when they get rid of gas-powered cars because I love old cars.
Right.
I mean, they'll come up with something with emissions.
Well, I
like,
think they'll just find some way to like convert the car. I think
You think there'll be
make
old cars?
they'll make gas cars into electric. They'll just throw an electric engine in it.
yeah, but I don't know if there is going to be any old cars that you could drive. I think they're just going to sit in museums and stuff. Like
Right.
in 40, 50 years.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's going to be the roadways will be, everything's probably going to be different.
Right.
All computerized, like the way they got air traffic controllers. Maybe with all these cars are driving themselves, there's going to be some sort of program to control it. You ain't going to be allowed to steer eventually.
Right. Yeah, they won't trust you with it.
So you have to get this old car, then you're going to have to change the steering out. You have to get all this shit. It's not going to be the same,
Yeah.
And you know how people get upset. You ever see somebody, they put the different seats in the car, and we did a video about it. People get really sick. Oh, they used
yeah.
89
It's
seats.
not stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sick.
Yeah. Yeah, the shifter's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That knob's from an
Yeah.
88 Corsica.
It used to be silver.
Oh,
I liked when it did this. Yeah.
I'm sick.
Yeah, those guys are all going to be gone.
I love cars, though, man. I never had the money to really have one. So it's going to suck. By the time we're successful,
Yeah,
it's
you're going
gonna
to have
be-
to catch up.
40 years, I guess I'm going to have some new car.
Yeah.
Some new Mercedes. It's not that bad.
Do you think you're going to go through like that midlife crisis like that guy in the village?
No, because I feel like I'll be married with the family. And
That doesn't preclude you from having a midlife crisis. I think if anything, those are the guys who go through it.
my midlife, well, I never even had the first life experience because I've
That's-
always been broke.
That's why, that's how it happens. Once you get some money and you're in your 50s, now you got to run things back.
I feel like
Finally get that Civic.
my midlife crisis is going to be me relaxing more, me painting. Everybody in my family they worked real hard. And then when they hit about 50, they just said, I'm done now. I'll probably paint pictures,
Yeah.
just hang out, eat healthy, make some greenery salads.
I don't know, dude. There's 24 hours in a day, though. You got to keep those hands busy.
Yeah. I mean,
Idle hands.
I'll be painting, sitting in the park.
Yeah.
I'll probably live in the village like that, dude. Now, I'll probably live in Ohio, to be honest.
Yeah. But you're going to be running around
I don't know. Get
chasing
some
19-year-old
animals.
girls.
No way, dude. I'll get some animals. I'm hoping
Nobody
I'm
thinks
married.
that.
I want to be married with 3 kids. I bet you my wife would leave me, though.
Yeah. In the future, I mean, like these things it's harder and harder to keep these things together.
Well, in New York, a relationship.
I mean, everywhere though.
Yeah.
Even Ohio, I'm sure divorce rates have to be like. I mean, it's got to be harder and harder to ever keep a marriage together.
Well, a lot of people in Ohio, they start dating when they're 16, have kids at 19, buy a house at 22. They're divorced by 28, 30.
Second marriage.
Dude, I have friends that been married 3 times. I'm like, dude, you've been 9 kids you got married 3 times, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, it's Ohio. What about those people that always blame the town?
Yeah.
I went to Far Rockaway. This guy's like, I did 20 years in prison. I stabbed a guy, but it's Rockaway, you know. It's like, no.
It's the beach.
Yeah, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
He died. Got him one time, he fucking died.
Yeah.
In the shoulder, I got him.
The problem, though, I feel like for you, it's going to be that, like, I know you love TikTok videos. And you know, this, like, whatever you feel about TikTok now, TikTok's only going to get more and more addictive.
Yeah.
In the next 10, 15. Think about how addictive your phone is now.
Yeah.
And how many people right now, smart people, are working every day to make your phone more addictive.
And you know, one reason I get addicted is because when I'm on the ships, I can't do TikTok.
Yeah.
So, you know, then I get off the ship and I go hard 6 hours and I'm hooked, man.
But it's like, think about like in the future, how much, wherever the addiction level is now, how can you even picture something more addictive than this?
Well, I think
where they
I'm
start
sick of
turning
it.
you say that now. That's what everybody says. Yeah, people are sick of Coke too. But but it's like everything that everybody has this idea that, like, oh, someday I'm gonna be 60 and I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna paint and I'm gonna read and I'm gonna write and I'm gonna, I don't know, collecting some sort of bottle caps. But it's like, no, when you're 60, you're still gonna have TikTok.
Yeah.
So it's like that part of your brain has been rewired at this point.
Do you see the new thing with your phone that seeing that you could swipe without swiping now? You could just say next. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been had that.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Dude, once I get that, dude, it's over.
Oh, the next part it's going to have with your phone is going to be, it's going to scan your eyeballs when you're looking at it. They can see on your phone camera can look at you, and they can see where your eyes are on the screen.
Yeah.
So you won't even have to say next. You'll just look to the left.
Dude, that would be so great because my thumb's killing me.
Yeah.
You know
but
what?
Yeah, like, I mean, when you're 60, though, you're still going to be like, it's still going to be that.
Yeah.
So it's like the hardest thing, like I was saying, when you get old, it's so important to stay busy. I'm seeing this from my parents.
Yeah.
When their friends and everything. If you're not if you're not like keeping yourself occupied and like having to put your energy into something, you just end up like watching TikTok and Fox News. And then you just get fucking angry.
You know what I'd end up doing? I'd start cooking a lot. I'd make those sandwiches where you break it open. Hey, son.
Right.
Son, give me a Mussolini. You know, I'd have
yeah.
my son throwing me bread.
Yeah. Get the provolone.
Yeah. And then, dude, I'd fry it. I'd make it a mozzarella.
Yeah.
I'd get the eggplant on there.
Yeah.
I'd go paint, have the old car in the garage.
I don't know,
What
dude.
else? Go to the gym. Become one of those guys. I'd start shaving all the hair off my body, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Start swimming.
They say your testosterone lowers and your estrogen higher as a man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I hope I don't become one of those sensitive guys.
That's what happens to everybody.
You ever see those guys that get real sensitive, start acting like a woman?
Well, I mean, it's like it's more like you just have to calm down.
Or just get on test.
You peak on your 20s and then eventually you come down. The test, though, I mean, like, that's something you have to be keeping up. You can't, like, go down to 0 and then jump back up to 100.
Well, you know, with the test, your body stops making it anyway. So if maybe we're all supposed to be prescribed tests. Maybe that's what's wrong with America.
No, I mean, it was always like this then.
Yeah, but there's always room for improvement.
I mean, you say supposed to. It's like, clearly you're not supposed to, or your body would still be making it. If there was ever a reason, so many guys get so into all this, like, they point out stuff that's not natural.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's not, the plastics. Oh, that's not what God gave us. They didn't give us plastic.
Right.
You know, God wants us to eat meat and vegetables and this and that. And those same guys end up injecting testosterone into their body as if that's what God wanted.
Yeah.
No, God wanted you to calm down in your 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You're
wonder
not doing
why.
jujitsu.
So you could just experience life, watch the flowers grow.
Well, no, yeah, you're supposed to be like, procreating and having kids, and you reproduce in your young age, and then by the time you're old, you're supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you take care of your grandkids or something.
Well, do you think that we were never meant to live as long as we are, but since medical guys living this long, now we gotta boost the test?
Well, now there's just now there's just more years at the back end.
Yeah.
Now it's like the average age it's like 80, it's like 77, 78,
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, there is going to be a long like 20, 30 years when you're still like sometimes horny,
Oh, I see.
sometimes not.
Yeah.
And then it's like I think there's some guys who are just like, no, I want to be horny all the time,
Wow. Yeah, that's not me.
and it's not a good look.
Nah, you're walking around tight shorts on at the mall.
Well, you're 65 and you're still hanging out in the village.
Right.
Yeah.
Bald.
Still trying to do open mics and talk to comics.
Trying to show people pictures of stuff you own. Look at my house in Florida.
Yeah, we should write together.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're fucking old.
Yeah. But the young girls, it's funny. They like those old guys now. It's like fun to them. It's a goof.
Yeah. Well, I think they like him at first.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a long-term gig, but yeah.
Then the creep comes out.
Yeah. I
Once
mean,
the
at first, you go out to eat. Maybe you go up to their house in Connecticut for a little while.
Yeah.
Get in the hot tub.
But then eventually he bleach blondes his hair, gets an ear piercing. You're like, whoa. Like,
Well, eventually he just proposes to you. It's
Right.
like, all right, come on, buddy.
he gets his confidence up.
Yeah, we don't do this.
She's like, look, I'm using you for fun.
Yeah. I'm using you for TikTok content.
I thought you
Yeah.
knew that.
Yeah.
So this is my husband. Yeah, there's a 60 years age gap.
Yeah.
We're in an open relationship.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it goes. Man, I people that live like that, I hope that you guys are enjoying it, but I really hope. I mean, dude, I just want to have a nice family life. I'm getting old too, Danny. We're getting up there, man.
Uh-huh.
It's almost getting too late.
Yeah, some might say it's been too late.
We gotta get younger women now.
But the women have to get younger and younger as you get older.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just think about. I mean, it wouldn't be out of like the picture for somebody growing up where you grew up to have a kid at 17.
Oh, that's normal.
Normal is 17, meaning now that kid would already be out of the house.
And then you have your second kid. Now you're on your second family.
Yeah.
That's very popular for
So imagine
Ohio.
us though already having like a 19, 18-year-old kid.
Most of my friends have like a 22-year-old kid. My one friend's a grandpa.
Wow.
Yep. I
Man.
can't believe it. And he's been a grandpa since he was 35.
Yeah.
I remember he got his girlfriend pregnant. She was in the 10th grade.
Wow.
We were both in the 10th grade. He was the coolest kid because he would always borrow people's cars. He'd have somebody else's car. He was real good at talking to people. He'd tell them he'll detail it.
Yeah.
And he'd just be in somebody's sick car. We're all 15 and 16. And he'd talk shit about our cars that we paid for. He'd be like, man, that car's a piece of shit. Look
Wow.
at my buddy's car I'm driving.
Yeah.
And everybody'd be jealous. Oh, it's got heated seats.
Yeah.
You're lucky you get to borrow somebody's car. And everybody was jealous.
Now what's he at?
He bought a car finally. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, eventually he grew up.
Yeah.
Now he owns.
Now I want to borrow his car. Talk
Yeah.
shit about other people's shit. He's a grandpa,
Wow.
and judging by his granddaughter, I don't know, man. You never know if they keep following the family thing.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a great grandfather. I wish that we had that because I think
But
one
the
of his
thing is, though, you're going to have a kid at some point, and your kid is going to be like, they're going to have grandkids when you got kids. Right?
Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. Him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your kid, their grandkids are going to be the same age as your regular kids.
Yeah. Yeah. His grandkids will be the same age. His grandkids will be older than my regular kids because I haven't had any. Yet.
Wow.
He'll probably have great grandkids
Yeah.
because I think his granddaughter, one of them's like 4.5 maybe. So
Wow.
figure if she follows the family pattern, 10 more years, 12 more years,
Yeah.
she'll have a kid. He'll be 50. He'll be a great grandpa. He might even become a great grandpa.
They keep running out.
Yeah. Can you imagine getting to meet your great grandpa?
People keep living like that. Yeah.
Man, dude, we messed up.
Your great grandfather's borrowing your car from you.
I'd never be able to do comedy, but can you? Yeah. I just need it for a
Yeah,
minute.
I'm just going to the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring it back.
Copping bags.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, we should have had kids when we were 15, man. We screwed
would
up.
have got it out of the way.
Yeah, think about it. If we had a kid when we were 15, how old would they be now? Like 23? I'd be able to borrow money from them.
Yeah,
Let me just get 20 to get me through the... And your dad's chasing a dream.
yeah.
You're never there for me, Dad.
Yeah, I need a ride to the Funny Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just chasing a dream, son. I'm just chasing my dreams.
Yeah, they're going to let me feature now, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to give me a Wednesday.
You don't want to tell your kid it's a guest spot, Dad? How come you only did 5 minutes? It's politics, son. Let's go. Get in the car.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They only want women these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be a minority in comedy.
Yeah, that's the whole problem, son. I'm getting too old.
I mean, like it sucks because like even when I started doing comedy, I was already like a little bit older than the other guys.
Right.
So I was like 27, which isn't old.
Me too.
But for open mic comedy, it's a little bit old. It's more like 22.
Yep.
But there also were guys who were starting who were like 45.
Right.
And it's the same process. You can't really skip steps. So
It's crazy. Yeah, I was 26 when I moved here. I started doing comedy when I was 22, but I moved here at 26.
yeah.
And people at the open mics thought I was so old. And you know what's funny? You know, the guys that were just getting passed for regular spots, a few of the comedians, I'm really listening to them and taking advice, and I'm nervous to talk to them. And now looking back, they were 14 years old, a couple of them,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, wow, I owned property. In Ohio, I was a grown man. I was an adult in Ohio.
You're the manager.
Right.
Yeah.
I had car payments. I had a house. I bought a treadmill.
Someone shot at you.
Yeah. These kids are 14. I'm taking advice from. They're like, listen, man, you know, you got to trust in yourselves first thought. And then they're eating them fucking little gummy dinosaurs. And I'm just like, why am I listening to these guys?
But just think, though, at least you weren't like in your 40s. That would have been brutal.
Yeah, those are those guys that go up at the mic and they're just giving it their all, and it's not good.
Exactly. Well, the problem is that like in their mind, they're like, oh, this is going to be quick. This is going to
Yeah.
go faster for me
6
because I'm
months.
older. Yeah.
I thought I'd be famous in 6 months.
But no, but it's like especially if you start when you're like 45,
Yeah.
then you think that just because I'm 45, that means that I get to skip, I get to go faster. But it's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
If anything, it's even harder to start that age because you're like a weird old guy now.
And those guys that are 45, they're right away. They have the business card. They have the merch. They're all in.
Yeah.
You know, they do it all at one point. They're wearing their shirts. Bobby Jacobs on it. Yo, everything Bobby Jacobs.
Yeah.
Check me out. I'm 53. You know, I started late, but, you know, I'm a fast runner.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's
It's a
not going to help
it's a
you in
marathon.
comedy, man.
Yeah.
How about you write a joke?
Yeah.
Bobby Jenkins. What's up, Bobby Jenkins, professional comedian? They
Well,
have comedian in the name.
One thing is for sure, though, is that it's too late for us to switch up and do a different thing,
Yeah.
right? There's no more med school in your future.
I mean, there's go get a job at the spray can factory.
There is, but there's no go get a good job anymore.
Go hang out with Cossum.
Yeah.
Talk about the old days.
But
you
it's
know.
like you're not going to like start an actual career at this point. This is it.
Yeah, dude.
It's
This
either
is it.
like it's either this or failing at this. But it's not like, oh, well, I guess law school for me. It's like, no. Now I'm way too old for that.
Yeah, well, there's always car salesmen. That'll always be,
Yeah.
no matter what happens in life.
Someone's always going to sell the car.
You don't need to worry. You could always be a car salesman, make
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm going to open it.
You could always do it. And then, honestly, those car salesmen, they're like movie stars too, dude.
Yeah.
You ever see them? They're chewing gum. They always got the new phone.
Well, that's the thing in terms of like we're talking about jobs that are like you can do in the future. There's always going to be like a guy who can sell something that like Wolf of Wall Street, like sell me this pen thing.
Yeah.
That's always going to be a job. They always need a guy who sells something that you don't need.
Like, why are you in the market for this pen?
Yeah, well, it's like anybody who's always like all those like cold calling jobs.
Yeah.
That's always going to be if you can do that. That's the kind of skill that you'll always be able to do.
And that existed since back in the day. That's what the old original Rockefeller, he used to leave his kids and go to a town over and try to sell stuff.
Yeah, you sell rugs or something.
Yeah, he'd convince people that they needed medicine. He'd tell people about a sickness or like
Yeah.
special vitamins. And then he'd scam everybody and come back to his family and bring them gifts. And, you know, he had a second family in that city. And they were talking about, like, it's such a bad thing, too. And it's like, bro, this is the American life. Like, this guy.
Oh, yeah, just bootstraps.
Yeah, this is
came
what
up.
he's doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
he pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
But it's like Have you ever known guys who are actually like really good at sales?
Yo, yeah, I
Like when
worked
you
at the
just
car
like,
dealership.
yeah, it's like you're around them. They always tell you like, oh, anybody could learn how to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, that is a skill.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like it's this very slimy skill, and it's not somebody I would trust around my family. But it's like that. If you can do that, it's like more power to you.
They're just pushing, they're sweet talking, they're becoming your friend right away.
Yeah.
They're always chewing gum, they always got to act cool. Most salesmen I know that are good, they have a hook. Like my one buddy, he's got a wink.
Yeah.
And dude, he hits you with that wink, and you're signing the paper.
Well, it's like even if you see it coming, and you think, oh, here it comes. It's like, no, you're still falling for it.
The best car salesman I've ever seen in my life was ridiculous at selling cars. He was so good they had to fire him, actually.
Oh, well.
And he put on this fake country accent. He was just a regular guy,
Yeah.
but he told everybody he's from Texas. And he was just from Ohio, regular dude. Some people would come in and be like, no, we graduated together.
Yeah.
And they'd bust him, and he'd just be like, oh, that was another life, I'm country now. And they had to fire him, dude. He was selling the shit out of cars. He'd have people signed on cars without them even wanting to do it. Like, I'm telling you, I seen it. Dude, he'd get these cars for like $500, charge people $7,000. They would come in that day for $500.
And even if they knew that they were getting ripped off, a good salesman like that could still make it happen.
They'd come back. People tell me, yo, he ripped me off. They'd be like, I can't get this. He got me this car for $7,000. I tried to trade it in 2 years later.
Yeah.
They won't give me $500. And then they call him again for another car.
I mean, guys like that, though, you can fire him from that job. He's going to get another job like that in a day.
He sold like
he can sell real estate. He could sell software.
They go to
you
real
just put him
estate.
anywhere.
Yeah, wagons. What do you call it, dude? He he sold 90% of the cars there. He'd make like $50,000 in a month.
Yeah.
And for years they were like, once it started getting a little messed up, when police started asking questions, they had to get rid of him because he got this real good hustle where he would go to retirement homes and get people to sign.
Oh yeah.
And then you'd have to go drop off the car and give somebody keys to a car. They wouldn't even know. They'd just be looking at you so lost. They wouldn't even know what happened.
But guys like that, though, it's like they're never broke for long. It's an up and down lifestyle because you get in trouble or something. But like that kind of guy, you can put him anywhere in the world and he'll make money.
Yeah.
And he won't even. It's not even like you need a handout. It's just like give this guy something to sell. He's gonna start selling it.
Yeah, he would. Vacuums. It all starts with those vacuum cleaners. Them $2,000.
Well, those are those guys who like their origin story is like, I used to sell candy on the train.
Yeah.
But I made like $18,000 selling candy on the train.
Yeah, it is too.
Yeah, selling baseball cards or something.
They go hard, dude. They always got two families. Those guys, I think what works for them is I think they're bipolar. They live two different lives, so they could easily
they're
snake
just
somebody.
like, they're so good at it that they can live two lives and have all those plates spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, they can juggle all that shit because they have that kind of brain capacity for it.
When I tried selling cars, I remember what made me quit, actually, was my first month. This single mother came in. Dude, her kids didn't even have shoes. She had 4 kids. She's playing the sad story. She had a nice trade-in. It was her grandfather's car, and it just needed a little bit of maintenance, but she needed a van. She had 4 kids.
All right.
Vans were so cheap, and I remember my boss telling me, he goes, oh, yeah, we're going to get her. She's desperate. She got the co-signer, really hit her. He's like, hold the trade. And they like wanted me to offer her $800 for a trade. I quit on the spot. I was like, dude, I cannot screw this person over. They're like, you have no business being in sales. They wanted me to rob her for like $10,000.
Yep.
They're like, one person could be your whole month. You got to start looking at sales like that.
You got to hit the lick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's go to Kohl's. He used to always take me to Kohl's and buy pants. He would. Get the black ones.
Yeah.
You look real trustworthy. And it's all about the belt. Have me tuck my shirt halfway in.
What's the thing, though, about these like guys who are good at sales is that most jobs these days, even if sales is in the title, there's no real sales happening.
Right.
If you work at like Starbucks, technically they call you like a sales associate.
Right.
It's like, that's coffee. The coffee sells itself.
People are buying it.
But it's like back in the day, everybody's job used to actually, shoe salesman used to mean salesman.
Yeah.
People work on commission. The
You
only
gotta
place
talk
you
to
still,
'em.
the only place, like, Al Bundy kind of guys who it's like, I got to sell this shoe to this
Yeah.
guy. Now you go to Foot Locker. It's like the guy's working by the hour. He doesn't care.
Right.
The only place you still see it, though, is like when you go to DR.
Oh yeah.
And you go to any of these like third world countries, they still operate on the old rules where it's like, I got to sell this bottle of water or my kids don't eat.
And you almost think they'll actually murder your family if you don't sell it. Because
Yeah.
they'll be like, please, please. They'll be begging you, I want to live.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the
you-
guy selling coconuts isn't getting paid a salary.
Yeah.
It's like he's got to sell every coconut or shit goes bad for him.
And then when you pay them, they'll start laughing like they screwed you over. Start pointing to their friends, speaking Spanish.
Yeah, it's fucking sucker.
I paid $20 for a coat, and I felt bad. His kid, he's like, look at my baby boy. And I seen the kid just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I was like, here you go, man. And then they're all making fun of me.
Yeah.
You know,
You actually bought a cantaloupe.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, the gas stations, man, people used to hire those little 9-year-old kids to pump your gas and check your tire pressure.
I still do it in Jersey.
The whole thing was they gotta sell you a battery.
Oh, yeah.
Windshield washer fluid. Those kids gotta sell.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they get those kids drinking coffee at 9 years old.
Yeah. But it's like that mentality, though. I think there is something, I think we, as a culture in America, we've lost a kind of toughness that comes from that of having to actually sell.
Earn it, yeah.
Well, not just that, but of like pride in your work.
Oh,
Because now you go to the grocery store, it's like these people don't give a fuck. They're
Oh,
just
yeah.
trying to do as little bit of work until they can leave.
Yeah.
And then they get their check. But it's like if you're into a situation where it's like, no, everybody in here has to make this work.
You have to talk to them, know them.
Yeah.
Hi, Margaret. You got to check the eggs. Nobody's checking eggs at the store anymore.
And there's no pride in any of this work.
No, there really ain't.
Yeah. So it's like when you go to these other countries, you go to Mexico, and it's like you go into the little ass restaurant off the side of the road, and it's like it's the mother, grandmother, father, they're all working there. They got the little kid, wiping down dishes or something. It's like all those kids, they're all part of it. You know what I mean? They're all like they all have a stake in the business.
Yeah, like I remember when I was selling cars, my boss, he told me, he said, man, you got to get an addiction.
Right,
He was
yeah.
like, that's what you need. You need some sort of an addiction. We forgot the light this time.
Now, well, it's like I keep the sunlight. It's like I just don't want it in my face.
If you're wondering what Dan's doing, he's
Yeah.
making adjustments to the curtain. Yeah, no, my boss was like, he's always trying to slip me some scotch.
Yeah.
He just wanted me addicted to something. I seen him in traffic my third day there. He's like, yeah, you're going to love it, man. So you made it. This is a relaxed job. It's the best thing.
Yeah.
Trust me. And I'm in traffic, and I look over, and I see him in his car like this. He's freaking out. He's yelling. I go, yo, B, what's up? He puts down his window. He goes, hey, how are you? Good morning. No, we have a good day today. I'm like, bro, this dude hates his life.
Wow.
You know what I think his whole thing was that messed him up was he ended up marrying his best friend's girl. And you could never do that, because then your best friend, you guys are all working sales. I remember they hired his best friend. He'd be throwing in little digs, hey, how's Sarah doing? Whole
Yeah.
day's ruined.
Well, you got to keep running into this guy, too. That's another small town thing.
Right,
Or it's like, at least have the decency to move.
right.
Yeah, go to Columbus.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna start messing with somebody's old wife.
Yeah.
You gotta
Take her across state lines.
You got to at least go an hour away. She don't want to deal with it. They're at BW3s once. She's like, we're still friends. They're over there drinking, laughing. I'm like, dude, I want to be cool with this.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
This dude's looking at his numbers, trying to sell cars.
Yeah.
And then the last boyfriend was rich, so she's always talking about the stuff he has.
Right.
That makes it worse, too.
Yeah.
His father owns an aluminum spray can factory.
Hmm.
Then this dude's jealous. Man, I wish my dad had an aluminum spray can factory.
Yeah. It's tough, man.
It's a hard life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not everybody's dad could own a factory.
Yeah.
Well, the
What are we gonna
sadness
do?
set in just now.
The sun's going down.
You're going to make it,
This is a good
Dan.
metaphor for life right here.
You're going to move through the future. You're going to find ways to
Find to adapt.
You're going to make money accidental.
Yeah.
You've always been good at that, but it never lasts. But you always have one little hustle.
Something's always working for me. But
Yeah.
at some point, you'd like to imagine things start to converge. But I don't know.
I think
So
you're
what
going to
sucks, though, is that, like, we are old now.
Yeah.
And things aren't going great.
No. But people always
Things are
tell
on the
you-
upswing, but it's not like you wish, boy, how much. I always tell people it would be so cool if I made 3 times this amount of money.
Oh, that would be almost 40 grand a year.
If I could just, Yeah, some people say if I could just make a little bit more, no, it's like I need to make I need to 3x just about everything in my life.
I seen one
I
video.
need 1/3 of the roommates that I have now, and you know,
I
3
did-
times the money.
I see an interview about Matt Rife where he was like, yeah, before I blew up, like a year before I blew
Oh
up,
yeah,
he's like, I was ready to give up. I was struggling. I was going to quit and move back to Ohio. And he goes, I made maybe only 60 grand a year. I'm
Oh, my
sitting here
God.
like, dude,
yeah,
I made 9,000 last year.
yeah.
Like,
You didn't pay taxes either.
I know. I need some cheekbones. I got to get some, maybe I need to start doing that crowd work stuff,
Yeah. Well,
Well-
you're seeing them now about Matt Rife. All these videos coming out about they're like showing like his X-rays or something, or
His what?
they're showing his jaw, and they keep talking about like
Oh,
how the jaw
yeah.
implants
Once you're
and
that
stuff.
level of famous, they think he's got a body double now. People
Yeah.
are like, look at his earlobes. It's like, bro, there's one Matt Rife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
that
now
guy
there's
was-
about 20 Matt Rifes if you scroll TikTok long enough.
Yeah. I mean, guys like that though. Like, I mean, I think he started doing comedy when he was like a teenager or something.
Yeah.
So eventually, yeah, he reached a point where he was at least kind of in the middle.
Yeah, he went through puberty.
Yeah.
People are comparing.
But we got to
before
get to the middle.
puberty.
That's the problem.
Well, I don't know if I've ever hit puberty, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never got a beard.
Oh, you are losing your hair.
Yeah. I never got a beard. I felt like I never got those old man muscles.
Yeah. Old
Yeah.
man strength.
Yeah, like even where you could just see that it's real cut, like one part.
Yeah. It's from like picking up a tree stump or something.
Yeah, like my dad got those things. Anything my dad does, his arms looks like there's a cantaloupe in there. But he worked hard, physical labor his whole life.
Yeah. So
I was-
how are we gonna turn this around then?
Honestly, dude, we gotta. I figure there's a few things, some sort of side hustle that's slightly illegal, but the criminal time isn't that bad.
Right.
That might work, like some NFT shit or the next new big thing. I think you're gonna hop on.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, what's gonna happen with me. Honestly, I'm staying hopeful. It's crazy. I think I'm gonna get a couple of those big checks soon, and I'm just gonna live real frugal.
That's what everybody says until they get the big checks.
Yeah, I'm not going
Then you
stupid.
start balling.
I mean, I might fly to Rome and eat some figs, but
Yeah.
other than that,
Once you start drinking top shelf, and you got to go back down.
oh, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You start going top shelf, that money's gone.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping it works out. I feel like I missed there was a point in time when people were all like, man, Dom's a killer. People would talk about it. He's killing. It was like
Wow, those are the days.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
What
me
happened?
too.
You think I'd be better now?
Yep. Yeah, I really thought. Access TV.
But, you guys got to check us out. Yeah, Dan, man, dude, you blew up before all of us.
Yeah, those were the days.
I remember the producer
Fran
came
Drescher.
up to you. He said, yo, this was one of the best sets I've ever seen on this show. Remember that?
Yeah, that was 2016.
You had to be so excited when you heard that.
2017. Yep.
Who would have knew nothing would come from it after that?
Yep. I got about 5,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah, that was the last time that guy shook your hand.
Yeah. They don't even know me at Gotham now.
Yep. Man, I'll tell you what, Jersey got a good view in New York. Remember
right.
that joke from that night?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude. Oh, man. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to go eat myself out of depression again.
Yep.